New York Jets head coach Aaron Glenn has revealed that changes are coming for the New York Jets in terms of a key position for this team going forwards, as Glenn made a pretty surprising statement that not too many fans would have expected to hear, and it mirrors exactly what he did with the Detroit Lions, and we are going to break all of this down as this is going to have a huge impact on the New York Jets offense this season. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you are part of that group that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, if you're part of that 73.5%, make sure to subscribe. We are closing in on that 5,000 subscriber mark, less than 100 to go, so make sure to subscribe. It's really helping us out, but let's jump into the video because we have a lot to talk about in regards to the New York Jets, as head coach Aaron Glenn made a pretty surprising statement, Matt, as thinking of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, as where the New York Jets lie right now. Their offense is very interesting. They have Justin Fields as their quarterback, and they have a true wide receiver one, an elite option in Garrett Wilson. Outside of that, the receiving options are a little bit suspect. Allen Lazard's likely coming back on a restructured contract at this point. And on top of that, you also have Josh Reynolds. But that's where things lie there. And with running the football, the Jets have a few different names who are very integral to this team. But the number one guy, as we all know, is Breece Hall. Now, there's been a lot of updates with Breece Hall recently, and one of the key ones is about what his role will be with the New York Jets this upcoming season. And all the other running backs. As Rich Cimini mentioned, except for a brief period at the start of his rookie season in 2022, Breece Hall has been the number one running back on the team, a high-volume runner and pass catcher. First-year coach Aaron Glenn has other plans, though. It sounds like Glenn wants to employ a committee approach, utilizing second-year backs Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis to complement Hall. And on top of that, Aaron Glenn openly said, I think mentally Hall is in a good place. But I would say that we have three running backs on this team that we're going to utilize as much as possible. They're all big men. They can run, they're violent, and they're physical. So Aaron Glenn hyping all three of his guys up instead of just discussing Breece Hall, who, though, yes, is going to get the most touches, Matt. We're going to see a few different guys. We're going to see a running back by committee approach like what was ran with the Detroit Lions. And on top of that, something to also note is the fact that you do have, on top of Breece Hall, you do have, so Braylon Allen's great, but then you also have Justin Fields, who's a running quarterback. So this makes for a very interesting update on the New York Jets offense.
So we're seeing a lot of teams in the NFL move towards this committee backfield and away from what was the bell cow running back, which was giving one guy a ton of carries like that Derrick Henry, Emmitt Smith, DeMarco Murray type thing. So a better, if you want to learn what the committee backfield is, a better thing to look at instead of the Detroit Lions is looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they had Bucky Irving leading it, then Rachaad White, who's a better pass catcher but not as good as a runner, and then Sean Tucker, who's just another all-around back who's pretty good. That's what the New York Jets are going to try to employ with. Braylon Allen is going to be, the goal line guy and the early down banger. Then you have Breece Hall is going to try to rip off home runs and be your pass catching option. And then Isaiah Davis kind of brings a little bit of everything to the table, except for the home run ability. He doesn't have that, but it brings pretty much everything else to the table. He's got some pretty good hands. He is over 220 pounds, so he's able to hit guys in, if he gets hit in the backfield, he's going to be able to run through those guys, going to be able to handle goal line touches. And by cycling these three guys through, we're going to be able to keep all three of our guys' legs fresh, which is going to lead to less injuries to the running back position. And it's also going to lead to, when the defense gets tired, our running backs are not going to be tired. So as a whole, the entire running back room should be more efficient when you're looking at the New York Jets. You talked about Justin Fields being a rushing quarterback, another very important point. If you look at the NFL historically, when running backs are paired with a rushing quarterback, their efficiency goes up, even though their carries will more likely go down because now there's another guy who's going to get rushes on the team. When the coach wants to call a running play, a portion of those run plays are going to be called for Justin Fields, for your rushing quarterback. But you're going to be, like I said, you're going to be more energized when you get the ball, and guys aren't going to be able to key in as they're running at the running back as much because they're going to be paying attention to the quarterback. So every time you get the ball handed off to you, defenders are going to look twice and just confirm that Justin Fields doesn't have the ball. And when you have a guy as fast as Breece Hall, there's a chance that when they take that second that 1 second to look at Justin Fields, Breece Hall might already be 5 to 7 yards down the field on his way to the end zone on a long run. So I think it's a very good idea that the New York Jets are going to this approach. Now, some people are a little bit worried about where Breece Hall's future is going to be because usually when you do a committee backfield like this, you're going to go grab some guys from day 3 of the draft and 3 guys like that who are going to make up the committee, and you wouldn't invest highly in any one of those running backs because in the committee, yes, you still have a running back one, but he's not as important as the bell cow running back would have been. So if you were someone who wants to see Breece Hall get re-signed, this is overall a bad thing for his future with the New York Jets. For his career, it's a good thing because his career is going to be prolonged. He's going to be able to stay healthy for longer. But this team is, if they're truly implementing this committee backfield, no one running back is going to be as important as it would have been if it was, the old style, one running back taking over.
I agree, and I like this idea as well. We've seen it work a lot, and I do like the way that the Jets are going to go about this. I think Braylon Allen was, I don't want to say a great surprise, but he wasn't some huge name coming into the Jets last season as a rookie, and really, really impressed. He's someone who's going to be huge for the team. Same thing goes for Davis. So I like this idea personally. I think it also gives Breece more chances to hit those home runs because he is going to have fresher legs. Now, looking more into this and what Aaron Glenn mentioned, he said, so I think once we get a chance to get the players and see exactly how they operate, I think every player is going to be happy with the way that we go about this offense. And I think Breece Hall is going to be one of them. So Breece Hall being the main name here because he is the number one running back on the Jets. And Samini mentioned that competition is paramount. And Glenn emphasized that point by saying the depth chart is written in pencil. He wants to create a meritocracy. One of the criticisms of the previous regime was that they got too comfortable. Youth is served. One of the 14 offseason additions, I cannot spell right now, wide receiver Josh Reynolds, 30 years old, is the only one who is 30 or over. A year ago, the Jets had one of the older teams. Now, the oldest non-specialist is backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor. Every projected starter is under 30, and as Glenn likes to say, it is a young man's game. The Jets have 3 young wide receivers, Breece Hall being the most experienced one with only 4 years in the NFL as well, and really 3 years. He's going into season 4. So I really, really like the idea. I think it's going to be helpful for everyone's careers as well, just in regards to how the Jets are being ran as a team. And I'm excited to see what goes down. I mean, Breece in his 3 years in the NFL, the first season, he was looking like a future NFL superstar before tearing his ACL against the Denver Broncos. In the 7 games that he played, he had 463 yards, 4 touchdowns, got 20 first downs. It was a great season. And then 2023, he comes back, starts 16 of those 17 games, gets 994 yards, barely misses a 1,000-yard rushing season, with his longest run being 83 yards, the longest of any single player in the NFL. And then on top of that, you have last season where he started in 16 games, had 209 attempts for 876 yards and 5 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns on his NFL career. Now, I don't want to call last year a down year necessarily for Breece Hall. It wasn't the best we've ever seen him look, but that goes for most people on the Jets because last year was just such a strange season all around. I think there is a bit of leeway you can give some guys and say, you know what? Guys like Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, maybe it wasn't their best year, but last season, I mean, their coach got fired 5 games in. The vibe around the Jets was so morbid last year, and it feels like they're cleaning that up really well. Aaron Glenn came in to instill a culture, and I mean, he's going to die trying to do that. So I like this. I think it's good for the Jets. I am curious, as you mentioned, Justin Fields being a rushing quarterback should help with the efficiency as well. I am curious to see what happens, and as Glenn mentioned, he thinks that Breece Hall will be one of the people happy with it. I'm interested to see how Breece Hall is going to be, like how he's going to react to being in a committee.
Yeah, that's a great point. He is obviously a highly talented player. He's not in the Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey tier of running backs, but I think he's a second tier running back. I think he's someone that if he does hit free agency or, when he's talking about free agent or talk about a contract extension with the New York Jets. He's someone who's going to be asking for a lot of money because he's a really good player. Now, you have to, look at your team and determine, are you a team that is ready to give a running back a big contract? Historically, I've been, definitely a big supporter of not paying the running back the contract, but with this new defense, the cover two shell defense where you got to be able to run the ball, running backs are kind of making a comeback. Does that make me want to pay Breece Hall? I'm honestly not sure. I know he's talented, but I think if you're really strapped for cash, there are better positions to spend the money on. There are more important positions where you want to invest in instead of running backs. Because I do think every year you can go find someone like Braylon Allen in the fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh round. I don't think the running back position is a super hard position to address when it comes to either free agency or the draft. But I mean, I do think, like I said, the defense is changing. Running backs are becoming more important. So if the New York Jets do decide to go ahead and re-sign Breece Hall, I would be perfectly fine with that. Just make sure it's not like a record-breaking extension. Like, he should not be making more than Saquon Barkley. Definitely just make sure it's a contract that's not going to hurt the team too bad. But I would like to see Breece long-term with the New York Jets because he's such a fun player to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the huge things about Breece as well, is he's truly a highlight reel type running back, and I'm excited to watch him play. I was a big fan of him well before he was on the Jets when he was in college, so I do want to see Breece succeed and continue to succeed. I'm also excited. I think Braylon Allen also is a great complementary piece, the way that you could always use him as a third down back. He's a big guy. He's tough to bring down, so I like Braylon Allen as well. I like Isaiah Davis. It's going to be interesting to see, Matt. I'm excited, and we have more running back news coming at you very soon. So, guys, make sure to subscribe to Jets Digest. Try to become that exact 5,000th subscriber, and maybe, I don't know, Matt and I will shout you out in a video. Or maybe we won't. Who knows? Depends. You gotta let us know that you were. Guys, also don't unsubscribe to try to be that. Then we're going to know. We're going to know. We could see. Guys, have a great day and go Jets.